Welcome to Living Legends, Episode 1, Apo Whang Ode. Presented by RZL Channel 63 and Barangay, Bulalakaw. Wherever we're at, there we are. Great Dr. Jose Rizal once said, "To foretell the destiny of a nation, it is necessary to open the book that tells of her past." I begin with a question. Tell me the name of one living legend who walks amongst us. And by living legend, I don't mean pop icon, famous movie star, or crafty politician, but some great manifestation of an individual in modern times who generates a great pride or point of providence for a nation, culture, or ethnic group, who stands regally as a guardian of some great ideal or vision, who has held some pillar of civilization up on their shoulders against all odds. Well, it is very difficult to do so off the top of our heads, am I correct? These living legends can link us to our past, to our ancestors, and can ground us in the present, fueling our futures with their great sacrifice and wisdom. These torchbearers that keep our stories, our cultures, our histories alive throughout the storms of modernity have held our attention and captivated our imaginations as far back as we can remember. They have inspired many, including myself, to become a bridge walker, to cross those dangerous bridges, those high up cliffs and trails through winding mountains and dangerous forests, to receive the torch of wisdom from the past, from these living legends, these prolific light bearers who walk amongst us, to carry the flame back across that bridge, that dangerous valley, that high up cliff carved from the mountaintop, to help us reconnect the past with our present and the next generation, which is our future. I started with a question, and in the Philippines, this can be answered without contemplation. Apo Whang Ode, a 105-year-old living legend from the indigenous Kalinga Batwat tribe, is a traditional mambabatok, a chosen individual who performs traditional Filipino tattooing, a practice which has great power, meaning, and symbolism from pre-colonial times to present. Until this very day, she performs traditional Filipino tattooing day in and day out for pilgrims who journey over vast distances to meet, experience, and receive the blessing of this great indigenous light bearer. Apo Whang Ode is one of the main reasons why, for my research projects, my research in the Philippine Islands, I decided that the people, the places, the cultures of our great island archipelago will be my primary source in anthropological pursuits. And I will simply cross those bridges and carry back the blessings they've given. While we can gain so much knowledge and insight by reading books, histories, diaries, journals, it is when we go and sit down across from those in the places that we have read about that inspiration and imaginations, our thoughts, truly develop. As we break bread, converse with them, we inhale the aromas of the provinces, the town markets, and we learn from their ideals, their perspectives, their oral traditions. That is the true essence of a primary source. It was at the beginning of 2022 when one of my cohorts at the University of San Francisco published an annotated bibliography, and she utilized as one of her citations tapping ink or tattooing identities, in which I was inspired both in her writing and the article itself, which was about Apo Whang Ode and the Butbut tribe of Kalinga. I thought to myself, I've always wanted to meet Apo Whang Ode, experience her ceremony, and receive her blessing. I thought to myself, I'm here now, in the Philippines. I was overcome with the feeling, the thought, I must go now. For none of us know the day or time in which our hopes and dreams may no longer be within our grasp. The next day, I began the long and treacherous journey to the mountain province of Kalinga to sit down and hold the hands and break bread with the living legends of the Kalinga province, the Butbut tribe, and the legend herself, Apo Whang Ode. Upon reading my cohort's published article at the University of San Francisco, I found it both heart-shattering and inspiring. The aforementioned, because it made the pronouncement that Apo Whang Ode was the last traditional Filipino mambabatok, or traditional tattooist, in the world. Due to the decline of this practice and past negative connotations placed upon indigenous traditions in the Philippines, this made it even more critical for me to reach this last mambabatok before this great piece of pre-colonial Filipino heritage was extinguished. As I made it to Kalinga, up the winding mountain trail to the top where the Butbut village was located, past many abodes, to my amazement, I had found that since the writing of those cited journal articles, those publications, and because of this one remaining legendary mambabatok, Apo Whang Ode, whom had gained international fanfare, the interest in continuing this great tradition had inspired an entire new generation of mambabatoks to carry the torch. There were young mambabatoks everywhere, tattooing the pilgrims with traditional symbols and designs of the Kalinga province. This was one of the most inspirational moments of the pilgrimage, as it cemented the fact that this 105-year-old torchbearer, Apo Whang Ode, had resurrected an entire cultural element of great importance and ritual, while at the same time inspiring an entire new generation of her tribe to follow in her footsteps and carry the legacies of our ancestors, not just with tattooing, but teaching the traditional Butbut language in local schools. This was awe-inspiring, heartwarming, in contrast to what I was expecting to find from the most recent published literature. When we finally made it to the place in which Apo Whang Ode performs the ceremony of the three dots and the traditional Filipino tattooing, I must say, I was breathless. Her energy, her aura, her corriente in Tagalog, her electricity was absolutely amazing, and something that I have yet to experience up until that moment. The inspiration, the profound nature of her essence was not only powerful and profound, but left one inspired and filled with hope regarding what is possible in the pursuit of cultural restoration, preservation, and promotion within our modern cultures and ideals. For some, it may be easy with the distractions of modern technologies and gadgets to forget the lessons of our past and our ancestors. But it is not so easy for them to forget us, as they are us and we are them, and they want and desire us to remember the great lessons and teachings they handed down to us. And it is in this moment I sat down across from the great Apo Whang and looked into her eyes and was blessed by her hand, that I was left astonished, amazed, inspired at her energy, her regal nature, and the profound tasks that she has accomplished in her lifetime. If there is any folks that need a great source of spiritual, personal, or otherwise inspiration, it can be found for certain within this great living legend, Apo Whang and her tribe, the Wut from the Kalinga province of the great island archipelago of the Philippines. The new generation of Mambabatoks deserve a great deal of credit as well, and the other artisans, craftsmen of the tribe, as they had so many beautiful cultural items that I hope can be shared with the world. The ancient nature of their place of providence and the UNESCO World Heritage Site of the Banauwi Rice Terraces there in the Cordillera region, and the great tribes of the Ifugao, leaves one to be astonished and amazed at what is possible when we work together as a team.
Subscribe kayo sa